Hi there, Falcons. Welcome to another DI or direct instruction on how to all about density. So, how do we solve density problems? So, with the density, we deal with the amount of matter or stuff in a given space or volume. So, we deal with three variables here: D for density, M for mass, and V for volume. So, remember you have this triangle here. It helps you to remember the formulas to be used. So D for density, commonly it would have the unit on grams per ml. Now mass would have a unit on grams or G, and volume would have a unit of ml or milliliter if you're dealing with liquids, or it can also be in cm cube or cubic centimeter when you're dealing with solids. Now, how do we make use of the triangle formula? In class, I told you one way of dealing with the triangle formula. You always cover what you're looking for. Let's say you wanted density. So, how do you solve density? So, cover it up and you're left with m over v, right? I use divided by or the division here because this is the dividing line. So you say d now is m over v or mass divided by volume. Now let's say you're looking for the volume. So cover up the v and what happens? You're left with m over d. That's why you have it here. Volume is m divided by d. Now, if you're looking for m, you want to solve for the value of mass in a given problem, cover up the m and you're left with d and the v. You need to multiply it because they are side by side. So that would be m dv, or m is density times the volume. Now, let's dive into the classwork or the assignment. So, right now, you need to be in front of your Chromebook if you haven't done so, right? And you need to have a calculator with you. You have a calculator now with you? I give permission to for you to use your cell phones because your cell phone would have the calculator features. So if you're more comfortable having this, then use your own cell phones, right? So here, let's now go into your classwork, and this is what you see. Okay, now notice this, it says there on top, open with. So make sure you click this, click the arrow down, and select Google Docs. So whenever something is in Google Docs, it becomes editable. That means you can edit it. You can start typing something, write down your solution to all of these problems. So allow me to do that. Let me click on Google Docs. You do that too. Okay, do it now. So you have this now in front of you. You might say, oh, Miss F, I cannot see. It's too small. Okay, let's, maybe it is now much bigger, right? Compared to the original size. So what does it say here? Please show your work for all problems of this worksheet. Use the GRS strategy where you needed to write down given required solution, right? So always write this down. Now, again, you have the triangle, right? If it's more comfortable with you, why don't you just write this down, right? So Density, cover it up. You have mass over V. So M over V here, right? M over V. Or the volume here, right? M over D. Write it down or type it down. M over D. And you're looking for mass side by side. So M equals dV, density times volume. So allow me to repeat myself again, especially this is for the benefit of those who are currently at home trying to just solve this on their own. And this is really much preferred now in future problems that we may have in class. Always open it up in Google Docs so that it's easier for me to receive your work when you turn it in. So with remote learning now, turning in assignments digitally or online is the preferred mode rather than handing in a bunch of loose leaves, right? So let's take a good look again. Repeat how we solved the problems before. So always read the worded problems here and notice the numbers and the units of measurement. So here in this first problem here, 8 cm cube, what is that? Cm cube. So that's a unit of, correct, volume. How about 12.9 grams? Grams. So, right, that's a unit of mass, right? So you have V and M. And what are you looking for? And that would fall under required. What is the density? So it's there in the problem. You're looking for the D or density. Write it down and then go back to your set of formulas. So what will you pick? Obviously the first one because that's density equals mass over volume. Once you know the formula to be used, plug in what you have from the given. So mass is 12.9 grams divided by 8 cm cubed and then use your calculator, right? So you would say 12.9 divided by 8. I come up with 1.61. You can stop at two decimal places, why not? Or four decimal places. I'm okay with that. Now, don't forget the unit of measurement. Density should always be in grams per cm cube or ml, as the case may be, right? So this is how we did the first problem. I think let's move on to the next, right? So I think we kind of did this already in class. So let me just erase this so that we always start on a fresh start here, okay? Let me just erase that, okay? So here, for instance, what do we have here? A chef fills a, okay, the first step, what's the first step always? Write down, type down given, required, solution, okay? This will earn you 1 mark. So write down the given, read the problem. What do we have in the problem? You have this, right? 50 ml. So what is this? So let me just bold it out so that you can see. 50 ml. ml, a unit of, what do you think? Yes, that's V. So V equals 50 small m big L. So as I am doing this, you need to be typing it out also on your Chromebook because the file that you are now or the worksheet that you're working now is yours. It's your version of a loose leaf. So I'm just modeling everything with you guys. So you need to do as what I'm doing, right? So kind of repeating what I'm doing. So that's what you have from the problem, 50 ml. Now there's another number here, right? So let me just put in another color here so that the mind or the brain kind of remembers the unit, right? So grams, what is grams? Grams is a unit of, what do you think? I think I heard that. So that's M or mass. So this is now 43.5 G. And the problem clearly it says, what is the density of the oil? So D is S. Okay? You know what you're looking for, then you can go now to the solution. You start with the formula. So where's the formula? Then try and go back to the triangle. But I wrote down the formula here, so I might as well copy this, right? Control C or right click copy, right? And then Control V or uh, Control paste or move, right? So here, Control V, this is now a formula. And then plug in the values that you have. So I hope you're doing this along with me, right, Falcons? V equals to M. Do I know M? Yes, it's here. 43.5. So type it out. 43.5 G, small g, divided by V. Do I know V? Yes, it's here under given 50 ml. So type out 50 ml. Oh, you can do it the hard way, like long division, but why should you do that, right? When you have your calculators with you. So you type in 43.5, right, divided by 50. Answer, are we the same on this? 0.87. And don't forget the unit of measurement. Density would have the unit of measurement as grams per ml. Okay, that's it. That's the answer, right? Now let's pick another problem. The others you can just do it on your own, right? So let's pick a different one. Now, how about this? Calculate the volume, okay, of a liquid with a density. So clearly, what do you see here? It says density is given, right? So you have it here. So let me just put a different color on that so that you get to see that what is given here would be the D equals what? 5.45 G per ml. What else is given? Clearly in the problem it says there mass of 65 grams. So that's what you have there, right? So you say M equals 65 G. What are you looking for? Calculate. Calculate means to look for or find the volume. So here, calculate the volume. We represented that as a V, right? So V is asked. Now, how do I solve for the V? So you need to write down the correct formula, right? So go up to where you have your triangle, right? Cover the V, you come up with M over D. So I might as well just copy this, right? So Control C to copy, and then Control V so that you can paste it. Control V. So I now have this. So I'm ready now to plug in the values. So V now, V equals, what is the M again? It's 65 grams. So type it out. 65 G divided by, what's the density? There it is. 5.45. What's the unit? Grams, correct. Grams per ml. So again, use the power of your calculators. Try and just do this quickly, right? V now becomes, so what is, so let me just get to my calculator here. So make sure you clear everything before you calculate or use your calculator here. So 65 divided by 5.45. How much are you getting, class? So I have here 11.926. So the rules of rounding off, I hope you remember that. So I have here 11.93. What's the unit? Volume. It should have the unit of, what do you think? Correct. This should be in ml. Any problem so far? So I want you class to do the rest of the problems, okay? Now, this is interesting, okay? Let me just end with this problem and then use the remaining time to just go over uh, your problem solving of the rest of the problem. So it says here, a carver begins work on the following block of granite that weighs 2,700 grams or 2,700 grams. What is the density of the granite? Again, you always start with what? What do we always do? Sometimes I'm kind of lazy in typing out given required solution, so I might just as well copy this, right? Control C to copy, right? And then where is that? So why why don't I just do that? Control V. So I have this, right? Now, of course, when you are on Google Docs, it gives you flexibility, correct? You could just bring it down. Maybe I want to bring it down so that I am on the next page, right? So I have a bigger space. So let me just do that, right? Okay, this is what I have, right? What do I have in a problem? So 2,700 grams. Grams, what is that? Class, what is that? Grams. Any answer from the class? Think I heard that. So it is mass 2,700 G. What else do I have from the problem? Hmm, no more, but I have here the dimensions, right? cm, cm, cm. Ding, ding, ding. What comes to mind? Cm cube. So I have here the dimensions. Like I have something like 20 cm by 5 cm by 10 cm. So in math, you might be familiar with the parameters of length times width times height as the volume. So there's nothing but the volume here, right? Volume is just the length. In math, we deal with length times width times height, right? So if you multiply the three, right, how much would you be getting? Pull out your calculators and let's solve for that. So I now have, always press A, C, or C to clear everything, right? So start typing out or putting in the numbers on your calculator. So 20 times 5 times 10. How much are you getting? I'm getting here 1,000, right? 1,000 cm cube, right? Cm cube. So that means I have the volume here and then the m. What am I looking for? What's the required? It says there, what is the density? So density is as. Again, what's the formula for density? Density is mass over V, right? So plug in the values that you have. So you now have D equals, what is mass? Go to your given. Mass is 2,700 grams divided by, what's the volume? The volume is length times width times height. 20 times 5 times 10, we said that's 1,000. So we say 1,000 cm cubed. So D now is, so type it out as I am doing the thing here on the screen as well. So here, how much is that, people? So 2,700 divided by volume is 1,000. It is 2.7. What's the unit? Correct. I heard that. So grams per cm cube. Fun, right? Fun, fun, fun. So I'll stop here, and I'm happy I have the adults in the room. Probably I have a guest teacher helping you out. The EAs are there, or a teacher candidate is there with you guys. Okay? So I'll see you next time in class. Ciao for now, and try and solve the rest of the problems. Okay? Ciao.